All right, so to start, I've always been an overthinker. Even when I was born, I was pretty much mute until I was 7, which is where my memory sort of starts when I started talking and interacting with the world. So, which it wasn't really bad, you would think. It made me smarter, I would say. I was naturally a problem solver. The only issue is when, you start talking to girls. And when I got, more into lifting and just better in the way I dress and etc. and started talking to girls. Right, we're gonna get into life too, but I want to talk about girls first, just because for a lot of guys, that's when you really start running into the issues where you really got to start looking at yourself and be like, okay, this trait does this, and I gotta work on this, and this does this. I'm the jealous type. I'm an overthinker. A little too nonchalant. I don't give a so it just causes drama. That's when you really start looking at yourself. In life, it doesn't really matter too much because you still get things done. But in relationships, there was a point where I really had to, keep on, this is like a little after my rise into like talking to people. I really had to start looking at things and I'm like, in every like relationship, I've sort of just there's always been like this little pattern of self-sabotage. If you know what I mean, like this little pattern of just like self-sabotage where I myself, nothing wrong. Like I don't really have too many flaws. A relationship with me is pretty easy. But I just noticed like sometimes I would just be doing too much. And a lot of that, if you ever been in a situation where you're talking to someone and you're wondering like, am I doing too much? This and that, you're probably overthinking. And overthinking leads to doing too much, honestly, because you start overanalyzing yourself for one. So you're doing more than you need to, right? Once past the first impression, with most people, you actually could start to do a little bit less, especially as like a guy in a sense. You want to shine in moments. But if you're always like trying to like push it into gear and etc. at all times, as weird as it sounds, if you're doing that because you're worried too, you're gonna end up just doing a bit too much. And I was definitely worried and doing too much. And when I wasn't worried and doing too much, I was concerned about something on their end and acting in a certain way because of that. Best way I can metaphor it is, we'll take, sex for example. For guys, at least, right? I don't know about you, but I've definitely had these times where you're trading pleasure for time. A lot of guys are sitting here, especially their first time, meeting girls or first time being with girls, when you're intimate, you're sitting here, you're thinking about the most unattractive, unpleasing thing, etc. to last longer, right? If you have that issue, at least if you have that issue where we're not gonna say you're like some like two pump chump or something, but you don't last as long as you always want to, I imagine. Like every guy's had that day. And you're thinking about the most whatever it takes to stay in the game. And you're trading pleasure for time. The girl, for example, though, at least from what I've seen, a lot of the time it's not the case. We're enjoying like the climax, they're enjoying the entire thing. And the best way I could see that is you're not being present when you think about it. When I look back at all these moments, right, all these situations, my biggest issue with them, right, even the good moments, was that the moments themselves feel more like thoughts than memories. Why? Because I wasn't present, right? When you're doing that, like the sex example I used, you're not being present. Keep in mind, this is the most intimate and energy exchanging moment you can have with that person. You're not even being present with her. The thing she wants the most, your presence, you're not even there fully for it. You're not even there fully, which is crazy. In the most intimate moment you can have with her, right? So in my best moments, in my most intimate moments, one thing I'll just notice when I look back is they're just thoughts. Like I was concerned about this, maybe it was your first time, you were concerned about this. Maybe I was trying to make a relationship out of something and I was concerned about this. And all these cool little things are happening along the way, but I'm not really present. I'm overthinking about this, I'm overthinking about that. And sometimes I'm coming off a bit too extra and etc. And you gotta stop. The best way I learned how to stop that is to detach. And I don't mean detaching like that I don't care type of way, even though that can be very useful, because sometimes these overthinking thoughts you're having are just put there because You don't realize that you're talking to someone where a lot of their behaviors and traits are making you overthink, because you should, because it is concerning. So to not care might save you. But at the end of the day, bro, if you're gonna be there, be present. Because whether it fails or succeeds, at least you enjoy yourself. That's what saved me the most, is detaching from the idea that I wanted this thing to last forever. And as effed up as it sounds, it's just the truth. The new idea in my head now was that I just wanted this thing, no matter what, that I enjoyed myself fully throughout the entire thing. That not only, you know, the biggest climaxes of it, but the little peaks and lows too. I wanted to enjoy everything. I wanted to actually be present and not just sort of like doing cruise control. Best way I could put it. Cruise control. So I detached from the idea that I needed to be perfect in this, or that I needed to save myself from being hurt, etc. The only idea I attached to is the idea of just enjoying myself. And you'd be surprised how much better the dynamic was in multiple situations that came about, just in that alone. And the next idea that really got me to better my interactions, to better the way I approached women, was to, the same thing I say at the end of every video, is to impress myself. When I say that, I mean a lot of things, and I'll explain it a lot of times, most likely, bro. But with women especially, you'll be amazed, right? Amazed, impress yourself, so of course. You'll be amazed at the kind of guy you become when you're doing something for someone, but you're doing something for someone for yourself. Because the bar you set for yourself is most likely going to be so much higher than the bar you set for someone else with yourself. And that probably didn't make any sense when I think about it. But when you're there for yourself, especially, as selfish as it sounds, it just goes better. It's felt. For one, confidence that comes along with that is felt. For one, you're not doing extra because you're doing for yourself. You definitely want to analyze this though, of course, because some people have their habits where they're a bit selfish, and when they hear me say for yourself, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, get this and I'm out, you know, so all I care about. And that's kind of effed up. But you definitely want to be there for yourself. Love yourself. A big reason why you overthink in situations with females, etc., is because you're there to like serve in a sense. And you're there to serve her. She doesn't want you to serve her. The biggest thing you can give her is your presence. Besides that, you don't really need to give her that much else. Until you guys go on maybe more in a relationship and, you know, you start providing more, etc. But the biggest thing you'll always be able to give her, no matter what, is your presence. So stop overthinking. All right? To recap, to reevaluate, to recap. Be there for yourself, right? To impress yourself. Lastly, detach and be there for the idea of just enjoying yourself. You'll be amazed at how much that can better your sex life alone, is when you stop being there to just, you know, hold out, which is crazy, and you start being there to literally completely enjoy yourself in all the ways you want to. When you're with her, when you're on a date, completely enjoy yourself in all the ways you want to. The amount of things that I did that I didn't think fit my character necessarily yet, that I just did on a whim, like dancing and on a subway with people on the train, like buying flowers, or like just random little spontaneous things that I've done in the moment that I didn't plan on doing, just because I wanted to impress myself, just because I really wanted to enjoy myself. Instantly, so much better the dynamic, right? Second is life. And with life, overthinking is not a bad thing. Overthinking, all that matters is the aim. All you have to do is really think about how you want to aim this. The worst thing you can do is spend all your time in thought and commit to no actions. That was my biggest thing, is being a perfectionist, right? And at the end of the day, These videos, bro, these videos that you're watching right now, these videos are not, I don't know when the day will come to be perfect, but I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. Even this one, I'm kind of like, Every video I get a feeling like it could be better, or etc. And all it really does, though, for me is if I keep posting, I just get better at it. I keep reviewing it, and etc. But if I don't do anything, right, the worst thing you can do is be stagnant. Slow motion better than no motion. If you do nothing and you just sit there and just overanalyze and overthink and never make a move, it's the worst thing you can possibly do. In life, overthinking is okay, but when you allow it to slow your motion, when you allow it to and make you inconsistent, and you end up not taking any shots, and you end up not making or dropping any shots. Why? Because you're doing none. Period. You're gonna. It's worse than failure. You can't even fail. Imagine that. You can't even fail. When you overthink in life, you can't even fail. Commit to an action. Commit to an action. And what do you do after that? Look at the result. Fail or succeed. Overthink about that. Overthink about how it can improve. And then do it again. Fail or succeed, then do it again. And that's the best way you can approach. When I started thinking about things this way, I got out of my own way. And again, that's something that'll definitely change your life as well. When you stop overthinking about how you're gonna do something and how it's gonna come out, and you just do it. And if you're gonna overthink and use that brain power for something, now overthink the next topic. Now overthink how you can better it. And then do it again. But the action is themselves, that button where you press go and you do it, that should never be thought upon. You should always press go. You should always be ready. All right? So go out and impress yourself. Don't overthink. Like, comment, subscribe, etc.